Please welcome our guest today, Dan Farrington on the Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott.
Hello, and welcome to the Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Guild Mortgage. Contact Buddy Puckett at 503-851-8031. NMLS number 270057. Independent Merchant Brokers. Low cost and no cost debit and credit card processing. 877-460-4747. IndependentMerchantBrokers.com. Father's Day is coming. Boson Hub Digital Development reminds you. Father's Day Firehouse Fun at Powerland Heritage Park. Learn more, OregonFireMuseum.org. Adams Rib Smokehouse, 1210 State Street, Salem, Oregon, 503-362-2194. AdamsRibSmokehouse.com.
And now, your hosts for the Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
And here we are.
Ta-da! Welcome to the Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. Man, we are so glad you're with us today. It has been a great start to Monday for me, Scott. How about you?
Yeah, it's been great. And, you can see behind me on the screen, I've got a picture I took this weekend of a helicopter landing at the Riverview Park right here in Independence. It was Touch a Truck, where we've got fire trucks and ambulances and police vehicles and dump trucks and street sweepers and backhoes and all those great toys. And the children got to climb all over them and in them and pull the levers. There was even a simulator where they could get in, and it created the appearance that they were actually operating a backhoe. And a helicopter landed right in the middle of the park. And that was just fun. And then the kids got to all watch it.
That is amazing. That's amazing. What's that? Was it a special type of helicopter?
That was just someone's personal helicopter.
Very cool. Hey, there you go. You know,
right here in the Mid Valley, and it was an exciting time.
I just have my personal helicopter in the garage. I just take it out every now and then.
It's a great time of year, Russ, because there are a number of events. Probably almost every weekend between now and the end of August, there's going to be fairs and farmers markets and all kinds of things going on right here in the Mid-Willamette Valley.
Well, and we love this on the Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. We talk to believers in business about their local business, local community, all the things happening. And I want to tell you, if you've not got a chance to go up in a little helicopter or plane over this local area, you should. I've been able to fly over in a small plane, been in several times on vacation, been in helicopters that got to fly over the area that I'm at. And it is such a great perspective from above to look at everything. So, Scott, how amazing. That's a great thing to think about this spring.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we've got another great guest today. Dan's going to come in and share about his world. And I'm excited because they've got good stuff and they help businesses, Dan and BBSI. And that's what we need, because the businesses create jobs. Jobs are supporting families, and that's what makes the Willamette Valley such a nice place to live and work.
Absolutely. And, you know, we're so thankful to BBSI for being one of the sponsors of the Experience Local, helping us. And it's been just a great journey so far. And because we have amazing people like Dan. Dan is a great friend. He and I just hit it off when we first met. An amazing man of God. And I think we're just going to bring him in and get this thing started. All right, Mr. Dan Farrington. Here he is. Hey, Dan.
Hey, how you doing?
Good morning, Dan.
How are you guys today?
Good. Doing excellent. If I get your name right, we'll be all good. And you know what? We're so thankful that you persevered, that you're here with us this morning. And we're just thankful for you. We'd like to just start off today with, hey, who is Dan And what are you up to these days?
Well, Dan Farrington's has lived in this community for 30 plus years, but I was born and raised in Newport, Oregon, so I'm a true Oregonian. And my wife and I, Linda, we've raised 6 kids, all graduated and all married, and 6 granddaughters. And so that's our motivation every day when we get up, is to be a light for all of them. And but also working in this community, I work with BBSI currently, and also I'm a high school baseball coach at South Salem High School.
Wow, you are a busy guy. Go ahead, Scott.
So I just want to know a little bit about BBSI and what kind of services do you offer for the businesses here in the community?
Yeah, BBSI is actually a national company. It started out in Corvallis, Oregon in 1972, and it's grown throughout the United States. But we in the Willamette Valley, we have a team of 3 sales reps, and then 3 different teams built a payroll, HR, work comp specialists that we go into businesses and encourage them to outsource their payroll and help them offlift that from an employee or the family member or that type of thing, and actually do their payroll, pay their taxes, help them out with HR issues internally, and then also workers' comp. We do their workers' comp because we're self-insured. So we try to help startups, the people that are starting out with 1 or 2, 3 employees, help them make sure that they have all the current handbooks and job descriptions, and they're updated and qualify for what the state recommends. And payroll is very complicated these days, with paid leave and all this other stuff and PTO and all that. And we just kind of take that off their plate and do that for them. And
I love it. All the businesses that I work with, small businesses, when they're looking at bringing on employees as they're growing, that's one of the first things I recommend is that you outsource the payroll, because that's not what you do. And so every time you sit down or your employee sits down, it's a learning curve. And so it takes longer, which means it costs more. The opportunity for errors go up. And yeah, there's always constant law changes, benefits changes, programs. You wonder, do we or don't we need to comply with some of these state rules that are coming out about leave and so forth?
Yeah.
As an employer that comes out and wants to start a new business, their job is to create business, go out there and get the phone to ring, have a good product, that type of thing. So we try to tell them, instead of working in your business, let's work on your business. Help us take that off lift for you, but also we want to make sure they're compliant, because a lot of people don't realize that you got to get a PIN number in the state of Oregon for work, and you got to have workers' comp, and you have to have all these things. So we can walk you through that. We just had a client that was pretty big. They had 30 employees, and they went through the process. And first thing he says is, "Man, you guys ask a lot of questions." I said, "Well, we want to do it right at the beginning, and we want a long-term relationship because we have a 95% retention rate. So we really do a lot of asking questions at the beginning, so there's no questions down the road. I mean, there's going to be questions down the road, but we're going to do it right and take that pressure off the business owner. And again, you work really hard to hire somebody. You want to make sure they're paid. You want to make sure the taxes are done right, and make sure everything's compliant. And that's. I was a business owner for 23 years. I owned my own company, did Sunrise Medical. We did workers' comp throughout the state of Oregon and Washington. That was a big thing for me to offlift that payroll, because I didn't want my staff to worry about that, but I want to make sure I was compliant with the state and the federal government. So
yeah, I can't tell you how important that is, Dan, because that's the first thing I offloaded with my business. I do not want to mess with any kind of financial bookkeeping. I don't have a big payroll to deal with, but it's just the whole idea of the financial part and taxes and all of that is so important. Hey, I just want to remind everybody that we are speaking to Dan Farrington of BBSI. What an amazing man of God he is. And just want to remind you also, too, you can get more information about us at local.theexperience.video today. Please tune in there online or directly to our YouTube at theexperience.video. Just wanted to put those out there for you today. Dan, we love local business, and we love to talk about how your faith interacts with your business and how important that is to you. Tell us how much of a crucial element that is for you and all that you do.
Well, it's everything. I mean, God, God first before we even start my day. I have to get in the Word and making sure that my mind is right and my heart's right, and my focus is on the right things. And then going out and talking to people and being honest and about what we do. But it's a motivation for me to help people. I also help out on the board of Be Bold Street Ministries, where they go into homeless camps. I'm a mentor at the UGM of Salem, so I'm mentoring men to change their lives, and I'm an active in my church. I'm an usher and stuff like that. So God is so important in my walk on a daily walk, that when I get in a discussion with people, I'm talking from my heart. I'm not biblically preaching the word, but also my words are from the Bible, and that they are. I want people to know who I am, and I'm always going to be there. I'm going to support them and encourage them and give them good wisdom and a good experience. And that's kind of my walk. I mean, I learned a lot. This life is a long journey, right? Long journey of walking with Christ in different phases. We get a lot of things thrown at us, and again, having the right demeanor and the right perspective, and try to see past the angry person or the person that's struggling, and try to help them and find ways to help them. And just being encouraged. I mean, I've been a coach, high school coach for 43 years. It was all about helping kids be better at what they do. And that's what I do. That's what I do in the business world. I go in and try to make the business better than it was before I walked in.
And so you've been coaching for 43 years, you say. I mean, that's an important part. That's a great way to build the future. So many of us, I know Russ and I both have had coaches that taught us whatever that sport or activity was, but taught us more about life. So that's an important role. With BBSI, how did you get involved with this company? And this is a great story that it started in Corvallis and is now a national company. Here you are, an Oregonian, born in Newport, spending all these years over here in the Valley. How did you get started with BBSI?
Well, unfortunately, I had to close my business I had open for 23 years in January of 2023, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I was going to just coach and find some type of different jobs. And actually, through a Bible study group, a friend of mine kind of had a connection through BBSI, and they were asking him if there was a business development guy they would know. And he just got in his car, was driving, he goes, "They need to talk to Dan Farrington." And that was March of 2023. And I got a phone call from Jim Moore here at the office and said, "Would you be interested?" I said, "Well, actually, I was studying to be a State Farm agent, actually, and work for State Farm. And I wasn't passing the test. So I said, sure, I'll do the interview." And they said it takes about 3 months to hire. And they hired me in 10 days and got right on the thing, and just I like talking to businesses. I like to figure out the strategy and how they built their business and what's their culture about, and how do, what are they seeing everything that they should do in their business. And then, BBSI does payroll, HR, work comp too. So it's all about relationships, and you have to come in and just be yourself, sell yourself and sell the product that you have and show the value of the product. And I take that perspective.
It's interesting because being in sales and marketing and in ministry for all these years, there's so much similarity because, I mean, no matter what we're in, we're all in the people business, but the relationship building, the connection and community building, whether you're in sales and marketing, running a business, or whether you are in ministry, are so similar. And so for me, it's always interacted. And one thing that really stood out to me, Dan, was how much you were authentic about your faith. I love that. And I think you've seen that about me, right? Talking about Christ, talking about what's important in our lives. It just kind of comes out of me. And I noticed that with you, it just kind of comes out of you. And I think that is what, so people see that authenticity. And I think they're drawn to that, right, in your walk.
I think as men, it's something that's not taught at a young age. And then as I got stronger in my faith, again, it's a journey. And as we get stronger and we trust the Lord in all circumstances, I mean, I lost my business. I lost, half my house. I lost lots of different things, and realized I had to just focus on God, that God has a plan for me. And, BBSI came within 2 months of that. And, in this last year, I've been struggling with my health, because I've had a new hip replacement put in 2 weeks ago. I have been diagnosed with prostate cancer, and I'm getting evaluated next week on that. So my faith is that God has a plan, and God's going to put me in the right places. But I got to continue to encourage people to be who they are, and encourage them to reach out to other people. I think that our society needs to realize that we have to reach out and not hide, and we have to be vocal about who we are and what we believe in. And mentoring at the UGM of Salem really has helped me talk about my faith with them. And as we talk about our faith with other people, our faith gets stronger. And I think Russ, that's what I've learned from you, being around you, that you're very authentic too, with how you talk about God and how He works in your life, and the joy. I think that's awesome. And it's good to be around believers that are Christ-like. He tells us to be around people that are Christ-like. And who are your friends? Who you surround yourself with? So I really work hard at that.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to remind everybody, today's guest, Dan Farrington of BBSI. BBSI.com is a great way to learn more and about the company that started in Corvallis and is now a national company. And Dan is working for him. Dan, you talked about 6 children and now grandchildren. So your children are up and out. You also had a business while you were raising those children, and you're living your faith. Tell us about how you're able to integrate all 3 of those: work, faith, and family.
Well, everything is challenging. It starts in the morning by reading my Bible verses and help me get my head straight. And I've shared that before, but you have to be a light to your children. You have to show them. You have to be a great example to them. Then in the workplace, having 18 employees, and show that you have good culture. You want to treat them fairly. You want to be involved in their families and encouraging them. And I coached all my kids up to 8th grade, so I was active in their personal lives, and who their friends were and who the friends' parents were. And of course, everywhere we go in this city, there's always somebody I've connected with somehow through sports or work, or be active in the church, or just being involved and showing up. A lot of it is showing up and asking questions. Don't hide in the corner. Russ knows me. I'm always at these greeter things, and I'm always trying to talk to different people. And of course, my family kind of says, why do you talk so much to all these different people you don't even know? I said, well, that's just my personality. But I'm a big into sports, so we go to a lot of sporting events and different things like that. So I like to talk and find out what makes people click. And so but as far as a community of all those things and how to balance it, I think it's, God has allowed me to do that. And it's not me.
All right. We lost Dan's audio there. We do have Dan Farrington of BBSI, and just sharing about his life and his experience and expressing his faith. Union Gospel Mission is a huge organization in Salem, making a big impact. Russ, I don't know if you've had any opportunity to work with Union Gospel Mission, UGM.
I have been able to support them and work with a lot of great organizations in the area. And I've had some really great people through our church that work directly with the Union Gospel Mission. There is so much amazing things that happen around us that we have an opportunity to support. And so, yeah, I highly recommend people do that. In fact, he was talking about mentoring and all of that. And one of our sponsors is really involved in Valley Mentoring. Tim Davis's group out of the Rec and Kaiser, amazing group of people that also do a lot of mentoring. So just bring those things up, because I think that, it is just really neat. And I don't know what the word I'm trying to look for, but it's amazing what we have opportunity to do. We're going
Yeah.
to try to bring Dan back in here.
We'll bring
And
Dan in and we'll check. Let's check Dan's audio. Dan, are you able to hear us, and can we hear you? All right.
Nope, it looks like,
Dan Farrington of BBSI, BBSI.com, a company that started right there in Corvallis, Oregon, is now a national organization providing a lot of services, especially around payroll. There's been quite a number of legislative changes that are impacting businesses, Russ, and to me, it's really one of those things that's so important is that you find people who do what they do. And as Russ, I know you said this as well, only do what only you can do.
That is so good. And yes, and you know what? I know that I can't really do those things. And so I don't try to do that. And, that's where people like Dan and BBSI come in, help
Mhm.
you with things that really, I always say it, Scott, we are better together, right? We're better together for God. We're better together in business. We're better together personally. And we need to seek out people that God has given those talents and abilities to, just like I depend on you for so many things, Scott. And I think that's what this community is all about. And I think what a blessing to just be part of it and to
Mhm.
be here with you today. It's a blessing.
Yeah. And as I just think about the different guests that we've had here on the Experience Local and how they have created jobs, how they're able to make an impact in the community by focusing on what it is they do. So like Tim Fitzpatrick in Fitzpatrick Painting and Construction. And I think now he says he's got 100 employees.
Wow.
And I think about that. That's 100 families in our community that
Yeah.
are all working and earning and sending their kids to school and buying products and services and also contributing like Dan,
Right.
being a coach, baseball coach, 43 years. That's generational.
Oh my goodness.
He's going to be coaching the children of the people that he coached, maybe
Yeah.
getting to that point of grandchildren. And Russ, one of the things that you talked about as well is legacy. And what does it mean to create a legacy in your community?
Yeah, no, I'm all about that, and was blessed to write a book about that, be part of that with a collaborative group. And, creating a legacy is really what you're doing daily through your actions, right? We can show our faith, and we can show what we're really all about by the way we act and the things that we do in our community. That creates a legacy. People say, like Dan brought up, which was great. And by the way, Dan Farrington, an amazing guest. It looks like we're wrapping up the show today. Oh wait, he looks like he tried to come back, so we'll try him again here in a second. But the thing about the helping in the community and being part of that with his kids, he talked about injecting himself to their community, to their school, to their sports, and all the things. And you and I, Scott, did the same thing with our kids. And I think that's so important because you're creating a legacy with your children, because that's what my parents did. And they left that for me. And that's what I did. And that's what my kids will do. And we do that. And I think that we're blessed to have that opportunity. And before we run out of time, we're going to try to bring Dan back in one more time here. Oh, well, there we go. I thought we were, but he just disappeared. So we're just going to wrap things up.
As I was thinking about the Touch a Truck event this last week, so many different businesses came together, and they had to bring in their employees and bring in their equipment and get it set up. They had a dragster there. They had the cement mixer. These are just great things that are very interesting for the children and to come. But one of the things that I think was really important about this event, these types of local events, is it was fun for the children, fun for the parents to watch their children, but it was also a benefit for the Ella Curran Food Bank. And
Awesome.
so that's here in Polk County. been going for quite a number of years. I encourage people to learn more about the Ella Curran Food Bank and wherever your local food bank is. Food pantries are unfortunately a necessary part of the community, but something that we can be involved in. And so being able to support organizations like this are so critical.
So critical. Well, we're hopeful that Dan can give his final comment and wrap things up here as we bring him in one more time. Hey, Dan.
Hey, sorry about that.
That's all right. Hey, Dan.
Must be Monday. So
that's all right. It's all good.
It.
Hey, listen, we only have a couple minutes left, but we wanted you to give your wrap-up gold nugget comment of the day in about a minute, and then give us how people get in touch with you.
Well, I think what we have to do is show up. I think we have to be present at whatever event it is. Don't be shy of opening a new door and meet a new person today. I think BBSI is about helping small businesses grow and where they're at. And to contact us, it's dan.farrington@bbsi.com, or you can go to our website, bbsi.com. Again, businesses need help. I mean, there's areas that everybody's looking to cut corners and that type of thing right now to make a living, and outsourcing your payroll might make sense and allow other people that are very valuable in your company to do something else in their business. That's kind of the way I look at it, is don't put the pressure on one employee. Have them, if they're gifted, maybe they can help you with your marketing or help you with managing your warehouse or whatever else they can do in the business. And if you outsource your payroll, we're able to take that off your plate. So I appreciate the opportunity. I think I love the fact that it's faith-based, and that's my background, and I trust that God has a plan for all of us, and we just have to be present.
And one quick question: how does the South Salem baseball team look this year?
Well, I help out with the freshmen, so the varsity team is ranked number 2 in the state. Actually, 18th in the country. They're ranked. They have a very talented young group. They have one senior, and we'll find out how good we are next week, because playoffs start next week, but this Thursday. So we'll find out where we fit in this week, and it'll be interesting to watch. But I would recommend, if you're in Salem area, come watch South Salem play. They have a lot of young kids that are very talented.
That's so great. Dan, listen, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for hanging in there and getting back for the end of the show. And you know what? That's what life is all about, everybody. Persisting and hanging tight, trusting and believing in all that we do. And as we build community, work together, we are better together. And I truly believe that. And Dan, we're going to say goodbye and wrap the show up. So thank you so much again.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
There you go. Dan Harrington, BBSI, bbsi.com.
That's right. Oh, what an amazing man of God. And so thankful, Scott, for you and for being able to do this show and really express our faith in our general life and our business and all that we do, because we need that and we are better together. And I love you and appreciate having you as a co-host and just an amazing friend.
You're just an amazing man and a great father and husband. And thank you, Russ, that we get to do the Experience Local every Monday at 9 a.m. And then check the listings for your local radio broadcast station.
Yes, and we're so thankful again for having you here today. And as we wrap things up, just remember, get out there, have an amazing, amazing life. This week you can do great things. It's up to you. You get to choose. And until next week, we will see you live on Facebook at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time next Monday. Have a good week. See you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Thank you for tuning in to the Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Experience Local with Russ and Scott.